Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. And this one it's a little bit of a celebration because, yeah, a couple of issues that I've been having with the game have both been fixed, and I am well pleased about it. So I thought, alright, in order to really, I guess celebrate is probably the word to use. It don't feel like the right word, but nevertheless, it's the word I'm going to use. I will do a semi-long distance journey because I've not done a run that requires two route DLCs for a little while, and now seems like the perfect time to do one. So the route that we are going to be doing is Liverpool to Sheffield. So the first part, obviously, yes, we are heading from Liverpool Lime Street to Manchester Piccadilly, and then from Manchester we go on to Sheffield along the Hope Valley line. So for the first part, so where we are at Liverpool, we will make stops at Widnes and Warrington. They will be the only ones, and then go on to Manchester Piccadilly. Actually, we'll also make a stop at Manchester Oxford Road. So so 3 stops along the way, and then once we are at Manchester Piccadilly and we are making our way to the along the Hope Valley line, we'll make a stop at Stockport, which is pretty soon after. In fact, actually, no, once we are on the Hope Valley line, we'll stop at all stations. So we've got 3 stations on this stretch between Liverpool and Manchester, and then all stations from Manchester to Sheffield. As far as the loco, we are in a Class 68. We're in a Transpennine Class 68. Transpennine services would certainly run this particular route, even though, well, we're on the very outskirts of the Pennines. We're not actually traversing right across them, but we're certainly going to be pretty close to them. So yeah, it's not unheard of to see Transpennine Express trains do this particular run. As far as the specifics, it's summer, it's cloudy, and it's 10 AM. So I will also point out that this consist for the Class 68, I did fuck it up a bit, as you will discover when we are in the game. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get this up and running. Okay, here we are with a huge number of these alerts down the side as we arrive. So right, before we take a look at the train exterior, let's get this thing set up. So Okay, right, we'll start the ETS, and we'll get the lights sorted out as well. I'm trying to remember which. No, this is the light control. Right, there you go. So ETS is active. Everything that I would normally set up is set up. Let's yeah, we don't want the headlights dimmed. Don't need the cab light, but I will put on, yeah, instrument lights, and the desk light will, yeah, actually, yeah, that's all good. And this is saying something is, oh yeah, it's because DRA is still on. In fact, we've got a green light ahead of us, so let's turn off DRA. In fact, it looks like it's saying there DRA is isolated. Oh well, DVD is isolated, but DRA isn't. So here is our Class 68 in the old Transpennine Express livery. It doesn't look too bad. However, yeah, our carriages are the old BR blue and grey carriages. We have our second loco at the rear. So yeah, a bit of a balls up there, but oh well, we've got our 5 carriages anyway, so you know, it's not all bad. So Manchester Piccadilly is 34.82 miles away. Let's start by releasing the brakes, and then we shall get underway. Quite an empty Liverpool Lime Street there. So 15 mph limit as we leave the station, and I've overdone it quite considerably. Didn't need to use the main brakes for that part. Of course, the 68 has 2 completely separate braking systems. The second loco on the rear of this does actually make the response to the throttle a bit sluggish. It's a bit slow to speed up, and it is also, as you may have noticed when I was speeding, it's a bit slow to respond to the brakes. But I think we'll be okay. Also, that light showing that the DRA was isolated has since disappeared. Anyway, we're now into a 40 mph zone, so let's get some speed up. Well, we can speed up to 30 anyway, because yeah, we have that speed restriction coming up in just half a mile. Still making our way out of this almost post-apocalyptic sort of exit that Lime Street has. It looks even worse when you're coming in and this is your entrance. So we'll continue coasting. We're on a 1 in 93 uphill section, which is why our speed is decreasing quite rapidly. But we are not stopping at Edge Hill, and then the speed once we go beyond Edge Hill drops to 25, and we're already below that. So the uphill gradient has eased off. So that's why the 30 mph speed limit there. So here we are at Edge Hill, which we are just going to go straight through. It looks like our DRA thing light is back on again. Oh well. We can still use it just fine anyway. So we now appear to be into a 30 mph section again. So let's get some speed up. We're very soon reaching an 80 mph section, which is very welcome indeed. So we have a crappy old class 142 right there. So we're about to join the main line, and once we do, we can then take her up to 80 mph. One in 94 uphill here, so again the speed is really dropping off fast. Leveled out a bit now. We can drop the speed, drop the notches even. So here is the start of the 80 mph section. And away we go. Let's take it right the way up to notch 8. So class 68 will be making another appearance on the Jim Plays channel relatively soon. It is a request that I made, and if ever there is a loco that will really show the difference in driving styles between me and him, it's this one. So we're on at 1 in 113 downhill, so I'll ease off on the throttle a little bit, especially as we have a 70 mph section coming up as we approach Mossley Hill station. One thing I forgot to do, if I can, doesn't look like I can, is open the windows, but yeah, it doesn't look like that's an option. So here we are at Mossley Hill Station. Yeah, quite the small station there. And we can go up to 80 again, but probably not a great idea because yeah, we've got these this coming up. And we've got to go down to 20 mph to for that. Anyway, here we are approaching West Allerton. Very small station there. Right, let's get these brakes on. We'll also apply so we've got both brake applications going. Try and get our speed down to 20. I think we're easily going to do it, but yeah, in fact, unsurprisingly, I've braked way too hard, way too early. One thing we are certainly not going to have any shortage of on this route, or certainly this part from Liverpool to Manchester, is shitty old 142s. I'm not sure if that was a 66 or a 59. More likely to be a 66, let's face it. Continue slowing down. I mean, the rate we're going, we may as well have stopped at Liverpool South Parkway. We're not going to, but face it, it wouldn't exactly have held us up by much. So yeah, here we are at Liverpool South Parkway. Quite a new station, this one. I can't remember exactly when it went up, but yeah, it is quite recent. So we have 158s and 142s all over there. We are now into a 30 mph zone. Overdid it. So very soon into an 85 zone, which is very welcome indeed. There we are. Right, straight into notch 8. So got a lot of these small, yeah, a lot of these small commuter stations coming up. So Hunts Cross, they very nearly named it right. That's the first of them. It does irritate me when it does that. Halewood coming up. I'll start coasting at 80 mph because we are on a downhill section. Admittedly, it is only 1 in 185, so it might not have any effect on us. In fact, it looks very much like it isn't, so we'll throttle up again. So, yeah, Halewood Station, absolutely nothing of interest there. Howell Green, Huey Green as I keep calling it, but yeah, I'm well aware that that's not the right name. We are going uphill, so we're slowing down an awful lot faster than I would like. In fact, I wouldn't like us to be slowing down at all. So here we are going through Huey Green. And Widnes is coming up next. That is our first stop. So I don't think we need the secondary braking system, we can just use the main one. I mean, I'll readily admit I'm not used to the main braking system yet, but it is the braking system that I prefer. It's the same system that's used by you know, the 66, 67, 59, I'm sure there are others as well. But yeah, the 92 and I think the 60 both use it as well. But yeah, I do much prefer this braking system to the standard one. Quite a small station here at Widnes, so I've got to apply the brakes pretty hard, and yeah, to say I didn't apply them hard enough is a masterpiece of understatement. Nevertheless, I don't think we've done too badly. I mean, the rear carriage has not made it on there, but then it never does. But the rest of the train, well, okay, that one's not great. Right, anyway, let's yeah, open them up. So yeah, all the other carriages made it fine. They're also bearing in mind this final one here on the HUD display, that's the rear loco. So yeah, if that's not on there, it's definitely not important. Anyway, it looks like all the doors are shut. Yep, we are all set to go. I think we did get a bit of wheel slip there because yeah, the weight of the second loco at the rear, which I mean, this is a consist that I'm really not used to, having the secondary loco at the back, and yeah, I haven't adjusted my driving style to accommodate it. Now, I'm fairly sure that after Widnes, the very next station is Warrington, which is our second stop on this part of the run. But this part looks a bit familiar. I think we have quite a few of these small, you know, commuter stations around here, I think. Well, aside from the bloody great power station there, it's all quite open countryside, and we get well, we get a speeding error, and we also get a trackside view. Yeah, when I speed in this thing, I really do speed. So Sanctuary for Pancras we are not going to be stopping at. I mean, at least it's not one of those very generic looking commuter stops. So we have 50 mph section coming up. It's very soon going to then be a 40 mph section, barely half a mile on from the 50. So much so it might even be worth slowing down to 40 and be done with it. Okay, so Warrington is coming up next. So all those commuter stops that I was thinking of, yeah, are obviously after Warrington. Yet another class 142 piece of shit. I've very much overdone the braking there. So much so, let's speed up a little bit. Get us to 40 anyway. So we're into the 40 zone now. Yeah, Warrington station is at the end. It is rather long. It's not so much a bridge, it's actually, I'm not sure what you'd call it, but it's almost like an inverse embankment. We're the one that's, you know, up in the air, and is everything else that's down below us. So I'm pretty sure we can get all of the carriages on the station here. Whether or not we'll get the entire train on here is another matter. Especially as I think I've left the braking a bit late again. Well, that's actually not too bad. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. It looks like we've got, yeah, we've got all the carriages on. That's what matters. Okay, all shut. Don't worry about that red light you could see. Yeah, this red signal, it's because I've already passed it. Okay. So, the only remaining stop along the way is Manchester-Oxford Road. I think I said Oxford Street, didn't I, on the intro? Yeah, it's Oxford Road. And that is very close to Manchester Piccadilly itself. So, we've got a good 14-15 miles before our next stop. We actually have another speed decrease coming up down to 65. It is fairly short though, and we can go up to 85 pretty much as we reach Padgate station. at our current acceleration rate, I think, yeah, once we hit 65 we'll stop there. And still overdone. Really got to get used to having the second loco on the rear. I mean, alright, we didn't speed because I was, you know, setting the speed before, long before we were in the 65 zone. Here it is. So we're now into the 85 zone again. Put it straight into notch 8. Here is Padgate Station, what there is of it. So then we have Birchwood, another very small commuter stop. I'm pretty sure the vast majority of trains that would be doing a route like Liverpool to Sheffield or Liverpool to, actually even Liverpool and Manchester for the majority of cases, would not actually take this route. They would take the Chatmos route. That is a route that I do not have at the moment. So here is Birchwood Station, again pretty generic, forgettable, and again I've overdid the acceleration. We weren't speeding quite so much this time, but Jesus Christ, we have got plenty of speeding operational errors on this run already. Yeah, when I put this consist together, I didn't really sort of take into account the weight of the loco at the rear. I will certainly need to do that once we leave Manchester and start the all stops section of the run, because yeah, so far my stops have been okay, but I think more through luck than my actual judgment of when to stop. So here we are at Glazebrook. You really haven't got far to go, and then the next station, Earlham. Manchester is less than 10 miles away. Well, Manchester Piccadilly is. Kirtland Station. Yeah, not what you call a memorable stop, that one. So 1 in 135 uphill here. It is slowing us down, even though we're in notch 4. Still slowing us in notch 5, but it's now levelling out. And now, yeah, downhill. I think, yeah, we can coast and still gain speed at a very slow rate, which is fine by me. So Flixton coming up, and it's one of 3 stations that are all in bloody spitting distance of each other. So Flixton Station, yeah, definitely not a memorable one. So, Chatham Road, again, not, yeah, nothing there to make it at all interesting. Urmston is going to be exactly the same, and so is Humphrey Park when we reach that. Humphrey Park is a really tiny little station. So yeah, Urmston. Oh, we've really lost some speed here. Let's start powering up. So, Humphrey Park right here, we've got coming towards us. That is a 59. Yeah, you can certainly hear the engine sound there, that was definitely a 59. So I think that DB Schenker one that we passed earlier on, that was another 59. So Trafford Park. Well, at least it's not Old Trafford, so... Mind you, there it is in the distance. So we have a speed decrease coming up. Taking us down to 30. As we approach the mighty shithole. Another 59 there in the sidings. Right, we need to start braking quite a bit harder than this. Okay. Yeah. I do need to get used to this braking. So we have rather overdone it. We ended up braking rather early and a bit too hard. So we're into the 30 zone. This lasts a fair bit, and then we have another speed decrease taking us down to 25. We approach Deansgate station. This part of the rail network in Manchester is an absolute mess. Thanks almost entirely to one person. That person being Chris Grayling. The unsurprisingly, yeah, he was a Tory Minister for Transport. The project to improve all of this area was well underway. He came along and cancelled all the funding for it, and so it ended up actually being in even worse a state than it was before the project to improve it all started. And yet so far absolutely fuck all has been done to sort it out. So another 142. Now I don't know for sure, but this main line that's right next to us and practically above us, I think that might be part of the Chat Moss route. And if we were coming in using that route, we would have, yeah, a much better way of getting into Manchester itself. So here is Deansgate Station. So we trundle through it. Next station we are stopping at. So Manchester Oxford Road. It's not even a mile further along. And we are at Manchester Piccadilly. So wasn't paying attention again, so yeah, we are speeding as we make our way that red signal that's dead ahead is not for us. Ours is this one here. In fact, that one's now turned red. Oh, okay. Well, it was green briefly. Okay. So here we are at Manchester Oxford Road. This is very likely to be a short stop. They've all been quite short. So yeah, that red signal there is for the line next to us, this one here, and yeah, that red one obviously, yeah, for this line we are okay. So yeah, all doors are shut. Get underway then for the last, which is just over half a mile. So we could speed up to 35, but is it really worth it? A 1 in 100 uphill, so yeah, we do lose speed at a fair rate. So into the 20 zone. Double yellow, which is absolutely fine. We are. So here we are then at Manchester Piccadilly. So soon we'll be getting underway for the second part of the trip to Sheffield. Well, while the train was being moved to platform 13, firstly I was able to get another cup of tea, and not only that, I was able to get the good old Jaffa cakes, so I am well and truly supplied for the trip. But also the weather has taken quite the turn for the worse. In fact, it looks like we haven't moved at all. We're on the same platform that we were to start with. Oh no, I think we have moved. Anyway, so we are all set and in position, but I think we'll let passengers on, and some of them have got off just in case they've changed their mind because they've seen who their driver is going to be. So train is all set up once again. I will also point out I have no idea where the master key goes here. It's a good job I know the keyboard shortcut because I cannot see anywhere where I am meant to put the thing. So yeah. Right, I do believe that was the guard signalling me. Yep. So we are making our way in the rain now. It's not heavy enough for it to really affect us, I don't think. So Sheffield 42.56 miles, so that means total journey length is about 78 miles. And for this leg, say we are going to be taking, oh, let's remember to turn the DRA off, there we go. And yeah, we are taking the Hope Valley line, and we are stopping at all stations. Now, I am not particularly well versed on traversing the Hope Valley line. I've only ever travelled on it once before, and it was going the other way. Yeah, Manchester was our destination, so this could be quite the experience. Especially as we are in a train which yeah, I still haven't got the fully at the grips with the braking, especially when it comes to braking for stations, and I certainly haven't got the grips with the consist with the second loco on the rear. So we are now in a 25 zone. We can pick up a little bit more speed. The speed increments are quite gradual here, so we're now in a 40 zone. And we're now entering a 45. But by the time we are in the 45, we will be just entering the 65 zone. Okay, we're in the 45 zone now, and the 65 zone, yeah, we're now entering it. I think we can increase certainly knot 6. In fact, once we're in the 65 zone, which we are, let's go all the way up, knot 8. I don't think wheel slip is going to be too much of a problem. Although, yeah, we got a 45 zone fast approaching. That, I suspect, is going to be because of points. Well, I was fairly certain that Stockport was going to be our first stop, but no. Levenshulme Station is our first actual stop. Let's see if we can, there we go, so yeah, it is points that we are approaching, that's why that 45 is there. I know this secondary braking system is slow, but I'm pretty certain we'll make it to yeah, there you go, we're already fine as far as the speed. Now of course, as we're on a just trains route, there's going to be a lot of items being, a lot of assets being rendered, so we are going to lose some frames per second, which is a shame. I mean, it looks great, just trains routes nearly always do, but it does affect the performance a little bit. So in the 45 zone, looks like we haven't got much option. We're going over points whether we want them or not. I mean, it was points galore there. Okay. Well, once the whole train is on this actual line, we can take us up to 75, except we can't because we've got the fucking station coming up. Well, at least we'll be able to make quite a fast getaway from this station. I think I've overdone the braking a bit. The rear carriage is not on there, so let's make sure it is. There we go. It is now. So this is Levenshulme Station. I was not even aware of its existence. So it looks like, yeah, we've got a church there, and that looks very much like a mosque there. What we got going up here? It looks like a 5. It's a 221. Okay, our stop is done. So now we can depart from here at full pelt. Now, one thing that I have completely forgotten to mention is what I was saying at the very start of this video, that I'm celebrating something, an achievement of mine. If you're one of the half-dozen people who regularly watches these videos, you may or may not be aware that I've been having some issues with one of my route DLCs. Namely the South Western Expressways route DLC, which just would not work unless I used just one of 5 locos, namely the 5 locos that are in the European Loco and Asset Pack. If I use any others, it would just crash the desktop with no error message as we approach Heaton Chapel. Well, yesterday I fixed it. I hasten to add, no thanks to DTG, who I did actually get in touch with about the issue, and they were no help at all. So I basically had to scour the internet to try and find the solution, and I found it on DTG's own forums. And after finding it, I replied to the the ticket that I raised with DTG, saying, right, I think I found the problem. The problem was that I had more than one asset pack, the .ap files, within the assets folder of the Great Western route. You're only supposed to have one .ap file in any of those routes that are within the assets folder. I'm making a bit of a bloody meal of this stop here. Anyway, to continue, yes, you're only supposed to have one of those .ap files. Well, my one had 3, so clearly something was not right. Then this is Heaton Chapel. So what I needed to do, because it wasn't just a simple case of deleting one of them, or 2 of them, I needed to merge the 3 together. And I managed to do that. As soon as I did it, all working absolutely fine. Yep, doors are shut, we are all set. And not only did that get the Southwestern Expressway's route DLC working as it should, it also meant that the other issue I was having, which was the game just crashing the desktop when I was trying to make custom consists, that has stopped as well, which is how I was able to make this one that I'm using here, despite the fact that I'm using BR Blue coaches on a Trans-Pennine Express train. So, bottom line is, everything is working as it should. So I am exceptionally pleased. Right, so we do have quite a bit of a build up here towards Stockport Station. One thing I haven't done, as you may have noticed from the performance of the game in this section so far, I've not rebooted my PC for a few days. So we have quite a few staggered sort of speed increases as we come out of Stockport Station. It's rather like it was as we were coming out of Manchester. I think the secondary braking system will be good enough to slow us down. The remaining 3 mph. Again, I've slowed us down way too early. Yeah, raining Stockport. Who would have thought it? So yeah, very slow approach to Stockport Station. I mean, admittedly, I've made it look a hell of a lot slower than it actually is, but it's still slow enough. 20 mph approach to the platform. I mean, not being from this area, I did not think Stockport was a particularly sort of like major part of Manchester, and I dare say there are plenty of people from Stockport who will insist it's not part of Manchester, but it is. Let's face it, nowadays even Bolton is pretty much part of Manchester. Okay, so here we are at sunny Stockport. I believe there was once a World Cup held here. weirdest of all, it was the lacrosse World Cup. I don't know if it's just me, but for some reason, when I think lacrosse, which I don't do very often, I'll freely admit it, but yeah, when I think lacrosse, strangely Stockport is not one of the places that instantly springs to mind. Weird, eh? Anyway, that stop is done. Let's get back underway. I have a feeling we're going to be going relatively slow for a fair bit of this because I, opened my big mouth and said we're going to make this an all stops service. Oh, I just caught it before another speeding error. Incidentally, the leg from Liverpool to Manchester, I got 5 speeding errors. I actually thought it was going to be more than that. I mean, it's not good, but I thought it was going to be a lot worse. Well, we're in a 40 zone now, but any second we're in a 25, so we'll accelerate to 25. So Davenport station is our next stop. Rather like Devonport in the Penzance to Plymouth run. Yeah, it's a station that is really making me wish I hadn't decided to do an all stops run, but never mind, we're here. So I'm pretty sure this is now taking us onto the Hope Valley line itself. So I mean, the crappy weather means it may not be quite as scenic as it really should be, but I think we'll still get some great sights. That's one thing I do remember about the one time I did this run before. It was a really nice scenic route. So we're into the 40 zone. We'll get a bit of speed up because we really are crawling along here, but yeah, obviously we're not going to go mad with the acceleration because we've got this station fast approaching as well, and it's not very long at all. It's going to be barely half a mile before the next stop at Woodsmore. So yeah, here we crawl. Barely 12 miles an hour. I just realised, yeah, 1 in 99 uphill section here. No wonder we are absolutely crawling along. Our speed was dropping like a stone. It's not like we had a lot of it to begin with. So here we are then. This is Davenport station. I mean, I'm getting better at these stops. mean, to be fair, I couldn't have got a hell of a lot worse. So yeah, Davenport station. Don't look too shabby. All the doors close in unison. Yeah, that always used to happen in the old slam door days. So, bloody hell, yeah, I shouldn't have taken those brakes off without applying some speed first, because we were sliding backwards a hefty amount there. It's a combination of wet rails and this 1 in 99 uphill gradient that we are still on. Slam it into notch 8. So then once we're at 30 we'll put it into 0. Now we have got a bit of speed that we can lose, and the line has leveled out, so we're not going to lose it at much of a rate at all. Widnes station looks like a very small one. To put it mildly, I think I'm going to overshoot this a bit. Which also looks like there's no way we were going to be able to get all of the carriages on there. Well, we ain't done too badly. Yeah, I think 3 of them managed it. The 4th one easily could have done. So, yeah, this is Widnes, rather unsurprisingly, because it's not even half a mile back down the line. It looks very much like Davenport station. Not seen a dramatic change in scenery. Anyway, that is that stop. So away we go. And the next stop is not that far away either. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, it is fairly close by. Hazel Grove, that's it. This is a fair sized station. I think Hazel Grove is one of the sort of relatively major ones. Yeah, there you go. Significantly larger station than any of the previous, like 3 that we've stopped at. So we are on a 1 in 166 uphill climb. Don't think that's going to affect us much at all. Does look like this is a fairly slow line though. We do have a speed increase once we leave Hazel Grove, but only to 45. Obviously I spoke too soon. It then goes up to 90. Again, coming in very, very slowly. But no problem at all getting the entire train on this station platform. Here we are. So this is Hazel Grove. Right, stop is done. Get back underway, and looks like we've got some points up ahead which we will be traversing. In fact, yeah, we're changing line on those points, and then yeah, once we're onto whatever that line is, that's when we then get the chance to take it up to 90 mph and get some proper speed. Okay, so those were the points I think it was referring us to. So entering the 45 zone. There we go, we're now in it, and the 90 zone is coming up very quickly indeed. There we go, right, straight into notch 8. Do with the cab light being on, that's still while we're in here. This is quite a long old tunnel. Speed decrease coming up in a mile and a half down to 70 mph. even reached 80 yet. We are on a 1 in 132 uphill climb. That is possibly affecting our acceleration rate. We will also let it begin our deceleration down to 70. There we go, so we're fine now as far as the 70 mph speed limit is concerned. There we are, in the 70 zone. See if we get a trackside view in our third attempt. Well, yeah, I think we might have. Oh, no, we didn't. So it takes us out here, and yeah, again, not much. Mind you, good view of the viaduct. On a 1 in 100 uphill section, so yeah, it is affecting our speed. Although we have a 65 mph zone fast approaching, we are currently below that, but we are slowly accelerating towards it. It's now got even steeper, 1 in 98. We are still accelerating slowly, but it's good enough acceleration rate, especially for the 65 section coming up. We've got semaphore signals here. Don't like semaphore signals. I never read them until we're too close to be able to do anything about it. I mean, it is, yeah, it's my fault more than anything, because I'm always trying to see the light on the semaphore signals. All I have to see, look at is what direction are they pointing. If it's pointing anything other than across, it's fine. But if it's just straight across, then yeah. So into the 65 zone. We're actually getting fairly close to speeding there, but we're all right now. 1 in 90 uphill climb now. And Chinley Station is approaching. It was briefly 1 in 88, so this is quite the steep climb here. And we do need to start really slowing for this approach here. brakes are not going to make a hell of a lot of difference, so won't worry about them too much. And now slowing down too quickly, so I release the primary brakes. This 1 in 90 uphill climb is doing a pretty good job of slowing us down anyway. Definitely going to have to be a bit careful when it comes to departing the station. There's no way in hell we're getting the whole train on this platform. This is quite a small sort of stop here. In fact, it looks like we've got all of the carriages on there. If that is the case, then yeah, not bad at all. Well, they could definitely get off this one. So yeah, I'm going to say yeah, we got that one done. Anyway, here we are at Chinley. Quite nice scenic location. Right on the edge of the Pennines. Doors shut. Right, let's take us into notch 2 while we are releasing the brakes so we don't slide backwards. Yeah, that was much better. Still a bit juddery as we started moving, but at least we didn't roll backwards, so yeah, I'm considering that a success. Another speed decrease coming up in less than a mile, down to 50. So yeah, we'll just accelerate to 50. That's warning us off the speed decrease. Here's a Morpeth board for it. So obviously it is quite the curve that we are approaching, and that's why the speed decrease is there. So into the 50 zone. Yeah, you can certainly see why the speed decreases there. It'd be even more necessary if we were going downhill, coming the other way. So back to a 60 mph zone by the looks of it. Yep, and we are in it. Not a bad view, eh? I suspect this is probably a bit of a hefty old tunnel. It don't look too bad from here. We're entering a 70 zone just as we go in. But we're still... oh, that was close. Okay, I'll take back what I said about it doesn't look too bad as we were entering it. Yeah, this is a hefty old size. Also approaching the summit of this climb. Thankfully we have a 90 mph speed limit coming up as we start the descent. What's not so great is that, yeah, we have a station coming up as well. So Edale, which looks like a very small station indeed. So we're in a 90 zone, but we can't really accelerate at the moment because, yeah, this station that's coming up. The secondary brakes were doing next to nothing, so we'll just stick with the primary. Station does look quite small. There's no way we're going to fit the entire train on there. I'm not even sure we'll be able to get all of the carriages on there. Well, the loco is certainly going to overshoot. That's not really a problem. It's just the carriages that we don't want overshooting. Yeah. In fact, if anything, I've rather overdone it. I think we could have got all 5 on there, but we've only got 4. Oh well. So this is Edale station. Certainly looks like quite the scenic locale. It'd look even better if the trees didn't get in the way and the rain didn't make it so sort of like misty and that on the mountains. Hills. Okay. That is that stop done. Doesn't matter too much if we roll forward. We will throttle forward. So we're in this 90 zone. Let's use it. Take it up to notch 8. We'll accelerate up to 80, then put it back into coasting and let the gradient finish it and take us up to 85. Okay, let's let gradient take over. There we go, now that's a view. So we're in the 85 zone. I think this curve is exactly why it's gone down to 85. I mean, it's still fast enough. And we are increasing quite a bit. I'll use the secondary brake, slowing us down at a very slow rate, but I'm quite okay with that. So, Hope station is approaching. We are now back in a 90 zone again. So we'll release the secondary brakes. We'll let the gradient continue to accelerate us for a little bit, but we've really got to start slowing down for that station fact. Let's start slowing down now. I think brake temperature is going to get pretty high at this here. I'm still not sure we're slowing down fast enough. Okay, yeah, we were. And considering this line is named after this station, or this particular location, you'd have thought the station would have been a bit more, you know, a bit, yeah, just a bit more than what it is. I think we are going to overshoot this by some distance. Actually, we didn't do too badly at all. Well, again, that I don't know if we'll be able to see it. The trees are in the way, but look at that. That's fine. Door can open, no problem. Anyway, yeah, this is Hope Station, which we can't see very well because the trees are all in the way, but there you go. It's, you got a bit of a look at it. Doors have all shut. Let's get back underway. Still on this pretty steep downhill gradient. I keep trying to like really build up the speed on that, but yeah, these stations keep cropping up. Anyone would think that that's what they're there for. Gradient is leveling out a bit now, but it is still impacting on our deceleration. So I've had to put the brakes on pretty damn high. Okay, in fact I've overdone it again, but especially with how the gradient is now leveled. Well, it has now leveled, but it's getting steeper all the time. There's another tiny station. I think there's another line that within the Midlands mainline network, which is better suited to something like a 153 or the old 121s. Anyway, there we are. Yeah, so the first two carriages haven't opened, but they are absolutely fine. Look at that. I mean, it looks like this part of the platform is no longer in use, but if that was the case, it wouldn't be marked green here. And there's certainly no reason for this one not being open. Look at that, absolutely fine, that. Anyway, that stop's done. So, onwards once again. That was Bamford Station. Didn't really get the chance to take a look at the scenery. Great scenery there, no doubt about that. Looks fantastic. So again, we can take it up to notch 8. We are actually on a climb now, and a not insignificant one in 120. That is certainly affecting our acceleration. We're still accelerating reasonably well, for what it's worth, because the next station is fast approaching. So Hathersage station, which has a speed decrease not long after it. We'll take it up to 60 mph and then yeah, put it into coasting. Oh, I think I've yeah, braked through it too hard there. Well, the last carriage is definitely not getting on the platform, but that looks alright. Yeah. Yeah, first 4 carriages are fine. So this is Hathersage station. Again, looks, yeah, like it has some fantastic views. Imagine how it would look if you could actually see any kind of distance without it getting all foggy. Right. Onwards. So we're accelerating up to 75 because that 75 mph speed reduction will definitely come into effect long before we get to anything like that sort of speed. Alright, last one. Visualize, please. So Grindleford, the next station, and it looks absolutely minuscule. There's quite a long platform there, but most of it is, yeah, unused. So again, it looks very much like it's just the first four cars. Yeah. Still, I've had far worse stops. So, yeah, Grindleford Station. Yeah, again, quite the scenic locale. They all are on this line. I mean, yeah, if you like your scenic routes, this is a really good one. Okay, so Sheffield is now less than 10 miles away into single figures on the old distance. So, Totley Tunnel, even I was able to see that name. And we're at 90 mph speed limit now, so yeah, no problems. Of course the rails are dry in here, so we will be able to accelerate pretty well. You do rather get the impression this is quite the lengthy tunnel, this one. On a 1 in 150 downhill, so I think we're going to have to yeah, come off the throttle and let that downhill gradient continue acceleration, except we are slowing. Mind you, we've got a 70 mph section approaching, so that 70 mph section comes into effect pretty soon after we leave this tunnel. So yeah, crappy secondary braking system I'm using is having no effect at all. So yeah, we got further speed reductions to 55 and then 50 as we approach, I assume it is Dore and Totley. So we'll continue decelerating. We're in the 70 zone now. Because we're on this 1 in 100 downhill gradient, our braking is nowhere near as effective as it should be. Nevertheless, we are now fine for the 50 mph limit. We're going to continue braking for the station. But I will ease off the brakes just a bit. So just on a single line just for this small section. Well, I think we'll rejoin, have the other line joining us. Yeah, there it is there. So as we leave Dor and Totley station, I think this station is quite a popular one for train spotters. We are really overshooting this one. Okay, I thought it was going to be far worse than it actually is. Well, it looks like, yeah, 3 cars have been able to let passengers off. The front 2 certainly haven't. Well, you can see that from here. So anyway, yes, Dor and Totley station. So there are a good few train spotter videos on YouTube that are taken from this station. Certainly looks like a good place to do, you know, said train spotting. Right, that stop done. Let's get back underway. Sheffield is less than 5 miles away now, so yeah, we're very close to the edge. I said close to the edge there. Close to the end. Close to the edge. It's a Yes album. Bloody good Yes album. Probably their greatest album, but nevertheless it doesn't have a great deal of relevance to what we're doing here. So into a 90 zone. So let's take full advantage of it. 1 in 111 downhill. That's going to help the acceleration even more. still just the overhead view. I'm desperately trying to avoid the speeding thing, and yeah, we only just managed it, but yeah, we got to start braking quite heavily here. A 50 zone followed by a 15 zone, which is only just over a mile away as we enter Sheffield station itself. Don't need the secondary brakes anymore, not that they were doing a hell of a lot. We can ease off the main brakes as well a little. I wonder if anyone knows what that giant igloo thing there is. I'm sure it has some sort of relevance, but yeah, bugger if I know what it is. So we'll continue to let the downhill gradient speed us up a bit. But we can't pick up too much speed because, yeah, we've got that 15 mph section fast approaching. And AWS notifications will no longer be yeah, coming up. Won't be getting any more of them. Okay, so speed wise we are fine at the moment. We can use the secondary brakes to like fine tune the our speed. So we are now in the 15 zone. Ground has now leveled out. But here we are. So there we go. That was Liverpool to Sheffield in the Class 68 Transpennine Express. Great run. I didn't do particularly well on the driving front. I don't think I did too badly on this section. The damage was really all done in the Liverpool and Manchester section, but we'll take a look. There we go. So in fact, completely clear run. I'm very pleasantly surprised by that. Unfortunately, yes, the 5 speeding errors that I got on the Liverpool to Manchester bit rather undermines it. So yeah, I did really well on this part, but the first part I was absolutely dismal. Oh well, I'll still take it anyway. I did one part of the run, you know, I'll say flawlessly. Let's face it, some of my stops at stations did leave an awful lot to be desired. But nevertheless, no operational errors. I will definitely take that every time. So that is this video done, and we will see you at the next one.